Did Trump did make a comment though? Like he didn't go after Hunter in this debate, and this will lead us to our next subject because about an hour before the debate there was a press conference, and Trump stayed away from Hunter this time, but he was able to go to Joe now because there's been some connections. The financial lines are being shown to us in plain sight via WhatsApp, Twitter. They're putting them out there right now. And he said the big guy. The big guy, which is a reference to this money that's been going out there supposedly.
The email where it said the big guy.
The big guy. 10% off the top goes to the big guy. And that is supposedly Joe Biden. And this, to me, was devastating because it was 90 minutes before the debate. Hunter Biden's old business partner came, Mr. Bobolinsky, and he had a little bit of a press conference to explain what had happened in China with his dealings. It says, in shock, Hunter's ex-biz partner says turning over all the evidence to the FBI. There's a little film in here. There's a little clip of the breakdown of the right here. We'll start to play it, and I'll tell you where to stop. We're going to just do a little bit in the beginning. So you can probably go the first 10 seconds in to get them started.
My name is Tony Bobolinsky. I served as a lieutenant in the United States Navy with high security clearance. My father and grandfather both served for decades in our country's armed forces. Since leaving the Navy, I've been involved in various successful businesses, both in this country and abroad. I am making this statement to set the record straight about the involvement of the Biden family, Vice President Biden, his brother Jim Biden, and his son Hunter Biden in dealings with the Chinese. I have heard Joe Biden say that he's never discussed business with Hunter. That is false. I have firsthand knowledge about this because I directly dealt with the Biden family, including Joe Biden. I have also heard that Vice President Biden said on Tuesday that Senator Ron Johnson, the chair of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, should be ashamed for suggesting that Biden family sought to profit from their name. Well, here are the facts I know, and everything I'm saying is corroborated by emails, WhatsApp chats, agreements, documents, and other evidence. And the American people can judge for themselves. I brought, I guess, for record, 3 phones that spanned the years 2015 through 2018. These phones have never been held by anybody else besides myself. I was told this past Sunday by somebody who was also involved in this matter that if I went public this information, it would bury all of us, man. The Bidens included. I have no wish to bury anyone. I've never been political. The few contributions I have made have been to Democrats. But what I am is a patriot and a veteran. To protect my family name and my business reputation, I need to ensure that the true facts are out there. In late 2015, I was approached by James Gilliar, whom I had known for many years, about joining him in a deal which he said would involve the Chinese state-owned enterprise CEFC China Energy and what he called one of the most prominent families in the United States. I was informed first by Gilliar and then by Hunter Biden and by Rob Walker, who was working with the Bidens, that the Bidens wanted to form a new entity with CFC, which was to invest in infrastructure, real estate, and technology in the U.S. and around the world. And the entity would initially be capitalized with $10 million and then grow to billions of dollars of investment capital. After months of discussion, I agreed at Gilliar and Hunter Biden's request to become CEO of the entity to be called Sinohawk. Sino representing the Chinese side, Hawk representing Hunter Biden's brother Bo's favorite animal. And between February and May 2017, we exchanged numerous emails, documents, and WhatsApp messages concerning Sinohawk and its potential business. On May 2nd, 2017, the night before Joe Biden was to appear at the Milken Conference, I was introduced to Joe Biden by Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. At my approximately hour-long meeting with Joe that night, we discussed the Biden's history, the Biden's family business plans with the Chinese, with which he was plainly familiar, at least at a high level.
All right, stop it right there real quick. Okay, guys, I wanted to stop it right there because what he said right there, that last sentence was the bomb drop right there. Okay. Now we have not just WhatsApp app and emails and text messages. Now we have a witness sitting in a room who hears from Joe Biden out of his mouth that he understands what's going on at a high level.
Yeah.
What's the business deals are all about. As we go further in this particular press conference, he'll eventually say how the money was appropriated. Like Hunter pretty much pulled a wise guy move and said, 10 goes to the top, to the big man, right off the top, and I'm taking this money for myself over here.
They were in Miami, and he made the deal juicier.
Exactly. And he had said to Bobolinsky, this is Hunter Biden, that they're in this business because they want influence with my dad and whatnot. They're investing in the Bidens, which brings out this whole situation where a lot of people I know were saying that the Chinese have a lot of influence in our government. And I was always like, guys, the Chinese, there's no Chinese lobbyists. I mean, yeah, people, Congress members have taken advantage of NAFTA by investing in other businesses to go overseas where they can make money, inflate the stock market. But there's no lobby in there kind of buying influence like APEC or the Saudi Arabian lobbyist. But now right here, I think I'm getting proven wrong right here with this going on, because what were the Chinese trying to do, funneling all this money to the Bidens?
They were also, but the people that were involved in this were Hong Kong related too. Like if you read the emails, they were involved in businesses in Hong Kong. So that actually plays into the fact that, okay, now there's these business dealings with Hong Kong. Well, what have we done? We've supported a sort of uprising, right, of Hong Kong. Our government is supporting the uprising of Hong Kong. We've seen the Hong Kong protests. And that's how you know that there's something shady in that, because we've also seen the money for the NEDs and all of this thing. So that's part of it. And also the $1 million retainer pasta that was there, that's blatant money. And also the fact that the credit cards, there was a credit card that was used to go to a Mac store, to go to restaurants, to go shopping with this money.
Yeah.
So they were actually using money. They were actually making money off of this, and they were using that money and spending it. So if you want to talk about collusion and you want to talk about dealings with foreign countries, this very well falls into it. And it just makes, once again, the Democrats look like hypocrites, because they try to do the whole Russian collusion and Putin and Trump. And they talk about how Trump and his dealings. But it's like, well, there you go. You guys are two sides of the same coin.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if you can say they're two sides of the same coin, because for 4 years almost, this Russiagate thing never proved anything that Donald Trump had these hardcore ties to that government, to that state, businesses everywhere. That's one thing. But this is money that's being funneled through the Chinese government into these subsidiaries, and then eventually going to the Bidens, and we're talking 5 millions. So
money laundering.
They're buying influence of sorts, right? Okay, so there's a lot of people talking. You hear people who understand this, so like, what's going to happen? The Chinese really want Joe Biden to be the president, and Joe Biden talk with China, but if he does become president, then they move their influence out of the South China Sea, they say, so that Xi Jinping and he can do whatever he wants over there. This is a cluster F.
What?
That's what they're saying. They're saying that if Biden becomes president, he has influence bought by the Chinese now, that the U.S. will remove their presence from the South China Sea, that all the talk he's been doing is just talk for the public, but yet the Chinese have him in the pocket. In other words, they're saying that Russia wants Trump to be president, and now China wants Biden to be president and stuff. But the money lines are there now.
I think
with the Chinese.
Yeah, but I think I disagree with that. I think the money lines are there with the Chinese pro democracy groups, pro overthrowing the Chinese communist government, rather than the money lines are there with actual Chinese investors.
No. It's there. All these companies that he got this money from,
but a lot of
they're
these
state-funded Chinese companies. You can't get away from that. The state-funded Chinese. There's a tree up there right now. So this is money coming through the Chinese government, eventually funneled down into Joe Biden's pockets, and it's hard to get away from that, fam, because it's there. That's where this money's coming from.
There's politics, too, involved in this. Like I said, there are connections to Hong Kong with these Chinese people, like direct connections. So, I think we're going to see that come out and develop. I don't buy that. I don't think they want Biden to be president. I frankly don't think they care who's president, because at the end of the day, both sides really see China as the enemy. And that's the bottom line. Both Democrats and Republicans see them as the enemy. They both support the Hong Kong protests. They both support getting rid of the Communist Party. China is lifting people out of poverty. Yes, they have censorship, but look at what we're doing right now. A lot. I mean, their middle class is going up. Our middle class is almost non-existent. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't think.
I think China knows that we're in a free for all. We're in a downfall, and at the end of the day, you know, they just know we're gonna eventually cave on in to what's going on in our country when you have a person like Trump get in there. But like I said, with this here right here, these money lines are gonna be really hard to look away from right now. It's almost like his rhetoric of, it's the Chinese fault. It's the Chinese fault. And now you see this stuff right here.
So it's just this guy who talked, because I don't know. I haven't seen any of the documents. He didn't show any of the documents.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, they haven't been released yet. So I mean,
look at the documents.
They haven't been released because something went. This is this guy just talking right now.
Yeah.
And then he was going to the Senate to show it to them, I think.
Well, the documents are a lot of the documents that he was referring to are in the New York Post article that posted them. You could see the retainer. You can see the emails that he sent where he was talking about the $10 million and then the Chinese deal. If you go to the New York Post article, it's all there. They actually have the documents that they put out there. So you can go check those out. I actually did a video on that.
Put that, okay.
Well, I did a video on that. You guys can watch it. I literally go through every single document thing. And
this is more about the witness himself.
This is more about the witness.
He's like, I was in the room with Biden. He knows what's going on. The money was sent to him. So that's a little bit more damning right now with Bobolinsky's coming forth in this era.
It's just an added thing that they can go after. It just shows the hypocrisy again of the Democratic Party more than anything to me. I don't really think that. I mean, I think this happens all the time with a lot of politicians, is what I'm saying. I just think it just shows the hypocrisy when they're talking about Donald Trump.
I feel like, why aren't there the bombshells for all the billionaires and stuff that, fund Biden's campaign also, like those are, we've got access to those, and open secrets and shit, like, you know what I'm saying?
Because it's a foreign entity. And so this is what they're using. So the Democrats love talking about collusion and foreign influence and all of this crap. So this is big for that reason.
The right are making it seem like, this is like, Joe Biden's a communist, and this is why he's
Well, yeah, that's their angle.
And the whole thing is that they spent 4 years trying to say that Trump was being influenced by the Russians, and they couldn't find anything or come up with anything.
It's just another political.
You know what I'm saying?
Job.
Now you're saying this is the opposite. This is exactly what you're accusing Donald Trump of doing all these years.
Right.
Joe Biden's been doing with the Chinese, and that's the way it's going to play out.
It's not like a bombshell, but it is something that I think they can tie the hypocrisy again to of the Democrats. And this happens all the time. This is nothing
It
crazy.
should be a bombshell because Joe Biden was doing this shit. He's also had influence in Ukraine to change that government.
Ukraine was much worse to me.
Yeah.
To me, it was because it was an actual regime change and people died on the Maidan. You know what I'm saying?
Like you had Joe Biden talking about it himself out of his own mouth. That's huge.
Well, you got that in the Ukraine. He incriminated himself. Now Bobolinsky saying he's in a room with him. It's like, what is this guy doing? He's going around from government to government making money and carpet bagging up.
But he's hardly the only one. That's the thing. He's hardly the only one. They all do this. But you have to realize that anything that they have, they're going to use right now because of the election year. We talked about it too in our video. We said that you said that yourself. You were like, or is he going to use it now? Blah blah blah. Is he going to wait till the election? Like this is not surprising that they're going to use this. Why are they waiting right now? Because it's an election. Of course they're going to weaponize this and push their own angle to it. That doesn't mean that this didn't happen though. The angle that the right is going to take is going to be the angle that they're going to take. That doesn't mean that the dealings didn't happen though.
Yeah, these are devastating to me too as well. These are pretty bad.